Hi, Chris Holmes here, that coaching guy from Maryland, circling back around with you to find out, really want to know how you've been doing with enhancing or expanding your small group ministry in your church. So this is a little 5-minute video just to kind of refresh your memory on some of the things we talked about and to see where you're headed with this. So, go back a month. It's been just a month since we were together. And remember, we began the morning with the question, why have small groups? Why have them in the first place? And basically, there were 3 answers to that. The first one is because that's where disciples are made. It's where lives are changed. More so than any other aspect of ministry in the church, small groups are where people deepen their walk with Christ and their lives are changed. Also, the research shows in the United Methodist Church that the congregations that tend to be most vital are congregations that have quite a number of small groups to offer to their congregations. So, and it's often a variety of small groups that are offered. The third reason, you remember that when you have new people or new Christians joining your church, they're not going to join existing groups. And it's not because there's something wrong with those existing groups and they're not friendly or whatever. It's just this dynamic that happens. So if you really are providing an opportunity for newer Christians or newer members of the congregation to grow in their discipleship, it's going to have to be when you start a new small group. That's where they're most likely to connect. Later in the morning, we talked about resources. Do you remember I gave you this resource packet? Well, it wasn't quite that thick, but something like this. And with all kinds of information. We did the little web exercise at the beginning. Those very willing folks at the middle table there who took the pink string, and we played with the dynamics of all the things that can happen in small groups, from people pulling and letting go and all of those things. That was really to underscore how important it is to have trained leaders of small groups. We want to set leaders up for success in what they're doing, not failure. So it's really critical to train small group leaders in basic facilitation skills, the stages of team life. Take a look at that packet again. There's some stuff in there to help train leaders. After lunch, we talked about the Wesleyan model for small groups. And the absolute brilliance of John Wesley was that there's lots of brilliance there, but the most brilliant thing he did was to get Christians together in these small groups to talk about their faith and to ask each other the "how goes it with your soul" kind of questions, and to hold one another accountable for their walk with Christ. And so we don't need to dream up something new or go learn the latest thing in small group minute. We've had it from the very beginning, from the very outset of Methodism. We have this great model, and all we need to do is reclaim what Wesley was up to, and which was the backbone of the spread of the Methodist movement. And then finally, we ended the day with that panel. Do you remember some of you all volunteered and brought your expertise in terms of what's working in starting small groups, what's working in terms of having successful small group multiplication in your particular contexts. So we did all of that a month ago, and then you went home, and what happened? I bet I know what happened. Life happened, and all these other things came up, and you got busy with other important things that needed to happen. So what I'm challenging you to do is to dig out the information that was shared a month ago. And if you're a layperson and haven't done this yet, schedule a meeting with your pastor and share what you learned and outline the next steps in terms of small group ministry in your setting. If you're a pastor and you haven't gotten together a group of lay people or don't have already something like that in place, do so and talk about what needs to happen, what is wanting to emerge in your setting, what God is leading you to in terms of enhancing your small group ministry. So that's really the point of this call. It's kind of a poke or an invitation and a query to ask what is the next step that's needed that you can initiate. And I want to challenge you to take that step, and in doing so, to take the small group ministry in your setting to the next level, following God's lead. And your district superintendent, who is so full of life and passion, particularly in this area of in growing small groups, Wesleyan small groups, would be a great resource to you. I also told you when I left that I would be praying for you, and I wanted to just circle back around and let you know that I have been praying for your district and your churches, and will continue to do so. And I'm praying that this isn't just a day of valuable time you invested early on and then went home and forgot. I pray that this is something you're putting into action with the forward steps that are necessary. God bless you.